I had no idea about running a bar at all. I just knew I wanted to do it. My name is Jack Parker.
I'm Josephine Sonda.
This is Bar Afterglow. Our 150 capacity venue is run by 2 people. Me and Josephine.
It doesn't need to be so complicated. It is about people, and it is about giving people a good time. It's not about the drinks or beautiful venues. It's about us having the opportunity to give other people a little escape from reality.
How badly do you want to do the things you want to do? And if the answer is you really, really want to do it because it's just fun, then you don't really care about the money. You know, I don't have time to do anything else anyway. Like, what do you mean? Everything in Afterglow is a decision that we have made. But built everything, we chose everything, the colors, the height of the bar. That's definitely a massive, like, selling point for our bar that, yeah, you do see a little bit of, or you see all of our creativity. When you have no money, you have to get creative. I haven't built anything in my life, but I usually can figure stuff out, I suppose. I did. We did. I learned how to tile. I learned how to build a bar, a kitchen, a bathroom. Interesting learning process, but I don't think I would do it any other way.
I stop mid-drink because I have an idea, and then I have to run into the back and be like, did you know that it's like, and I thought about this, and it's great, can we do it? And it's like, I didn't understand what you said, but yeah, let's do it because you're super excited about it. So if you look at the menu, everything is based on a classic. How can we like tweak the recipe to make it more modern?
So this is a prep for the new menu. Peanut butter, fat wash rum. I think most of my drinks are actually made off of desserts.
Whatever project you put Josephine on, she's going to smash it. It might not look precise on the way, but when it's presented, it's going to be perfect.
Do you want some?
My process for creating drinks, it doesn't make sense to anyone but me, I don't think. Either I look at the bottle and I instinctively know that it's like, this should probably go well with this. And it's a lot based on color. Somehow it works. I just stick with it. I'm super stubborn. And then eventually I have something that's crazy good.
It's just chaos. It's just finding delicious shit and then adding booze to it. I was always creative. I went to art school when I was younger, and then I majored in photography. If you are already creative and then a little bit ambitious, and maybe a little bit weird, you have the tools to do it. You just have to figure out how you're going to use the tool to make it happen. Usually, you would heat this up for a long time to do a fat wash. We don't have time to do this, so we're just going to ghetto prep it. Now, ghetto prep is about not using all of the expensive tools that you usually would. So we're going to use the dishwasher. These go in here. So then we wait. Bar Afterglow. I would say it kind of feels like home. We don't really want to do like this service. It's like more hosting when someone comes into your apartment or your house. Okay, sweet, so this is done. Anyway, like to describe Afterglow, I think it's, you know, it's comfortable, it's fun, it's not serious. We're not serious people. You know, it's a bar that you can come in your pajamas if you like. Bars are supposed to be relaxed and fun, and I think that's exactly what Afterglow is. We try anyway.
Actually, I like grew up a few blocks from the bar.
Yeah, Sophia, they call it, which is kind of like the corner of Södermalm. I think it's so residential here that I think if people are walking past, they're going somewhere. Some people, when they're waiting for the bus, they will come in for a drink. That's great. Love those people. I'm late for the bus. I'll grab a quick pint.
We just want to make delicious drinks so that people can have a good time. I figure most of the drinks we make, people like.
Yeah, because they're bangers. What do you mean?
See? Bangers. Quote that. Bangers. I don't want to have them to be crazy complex. I'm not a complicated person. Simple person that just wants sweet and bubbly and pink drinks.
So this is the pink and orange.
It's based on the Sex on the Beach. We've taken something that would be considered a classic. We looked at it and it's like, okay, but maybe this is not the sexiest of drinks.
We juice the juices. We make a grenadine. We blend the lingonberries, turn them into a juice as well. Put everything together, put it in the centrifuge, strain everything out, add peach Absolut, then carbonate the drink. And then we pour.
So I think it was a little bit of a cheeky way of making that drink and being like, yeah, yeah, we're gonna use flavored vodkas because no one else is doing it. And it's also consistent. Absolut is doing a pretty good job with their flavors. Everyone's like, oh, flavored vodka. Instead of being like, hey, this is another toe in my toolbox. So we took the framework of that drink and then we clarify it and make it clear, which is really beautiful. And then we carbonate it. So when you drink something that's carbonated, the CO2 on your tongue makes you salivate. And when you start salivating, you're going to get either hungry or more thirsty. I have this thing where I compete in everything. I can't even walk next to someone on the street without trying to outpace them. It's really ridiculous. And also I think that it came a lot from being a girl. 20 years ago, the industry was not inclusive at all. How do I prove to people that I'm just as good as them? And at that time, competitions were a lot more, yeah, that was what you did to become good. So I was like, okay, then I'm gonna compete. I think that when I was doing the most of my competing, I did a lot of work on sustainable cocktails. At that time, that was when we started talking about it in bars. I'm terrified of, the planet going to shit. But it's also I think that that's where I make my best drinks. With those types of limitations, it's you can't use stuff from all over the world, or you have to reuse or remake an ingredient 5 times. Here we use a lot of oxidized wines. The off flavors are that's not supposed to be in a wine. But if you think about it as a cocktail ingredient, you can actually use those flavors to pair it with booze. White wine, when you oxidize that, has a tendency to taste like plastic. And plastic is maybe not super nice to drink just as it is. But if you combine that with some floral notes, then you have a flavor combination that's actually quite nice.
Collaboration is hard, actually, if I'm honest. You kind of have to sell your idea to the person you're collaborating with. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Doesn't always work.
I thought that you were oh, this dude is actually, he knows his shit.
Nothing about my character or anything. I was a nice guy. Nope. Yeah, he knows his shit. Sick.
Oh, yeah, he's okay.
Can I get ice? Is that okay? I'm gonna get ice.
I really appreciate him, even though it might not seem like that, because he's great. He has a shitty sense of humor and he's a little bit annoying, but he's a really good friend.
The way that we built the station, it looks like a kitchen island. When people sit down, it feels familiar to people. Like when you are hosting your family or your friends at home, your parents cooking behind, and then you have people sitting around the kitchen island. We try and encourage people to talk to each other.
So we tend to place the people who are in groups away from the bar because they just want to sit and hang out with their mates. And then the people who are in twos or alone, they get to sit in the bar. People get surprised that it's oh, this is pretty unusual. I can talk to strangers that I wouldn't normally talk to, and I can talk to the bartender and we're having a laugh together.
I guess it comes down to, again, creativity and what kind of place you want to own. I want to work in a place like this because it's a place I want to hang out.
We were working together in a place where we had bosses. You realize that you're just working to fulfill someone else's dream. You have all the credentials and you know how to build a bar for it. There's still going to be someone who's no, it doesn't fit with my idea of what this bar or restaurant is supposed to be because it's their thing. And it's super fun. So all of the blood, sweat, tears, lack of sleep, you're just giving that away to someone. And if you have the opportunity to not do that, then it's worth it to do it on your own. We're not doing rocket science. We're not there's nothing special about being a bartender per se, but there's also a lot of special stuff about being a bartender because you give people something that you can't get anywhere else.